Chapter 1. Baghdad's Veiled Night. The Tigris River slithered through Baghdad like a serpent, its black waters reflecting the flicker of oil lamps and the distant glow of the British mandate's administrative buildings. It was 1933, and the city was a powder keg of tension, colonial rule, ancient grudges, and whispers of something darker lurking beneath the surface. The air smelled of spiced meat and damp earth, thick with the weight of secrets. Detective Elias Voss adjusted his trench coat, the fabric stiff with the night's humidity. He wasn't supposed to be here. The British authorities had dismissed the first report as a drunken brawl gone wrong, but Voss had seen the photographs. The victim's body, found in a back alley near the old set, was marked with symbols no one could identify. And then there were the missing organs. The alley reeked of blood and something metallic, something older. Voss crouched beside the body, his flashlight cutting through the gloom. The man's throat had been slit with precision, but the real horror lay in the carving's deep, deliberate cuts into the flesh, forming a pattern that looked like a star, or perhaps a crescent. Voss had spent years in the Middle East, but had never seen anything like this. "You shouldn't be here, Voss," came a voice from the shadows. Inspector Graves, his superior, stepped forward, his polished boots clicking against the cobblestones. "This is a police matter." "Then why aren't you investigating it?" Voss countered, his voice low. Graves hesitated. "Because the higher-ups don't want a panic. You know how these people are superstitious. Easily spooked." Voss stood, his jaw tightening. "And what if it's not superstition? What if someone's actually killing people?" Graves exhaled sharply. "Then we'll handle it quietly. No need to drag the press into this." Voss wanted to argue, but he knew the game. The British were still new here, still fragile in their control. A serial killer would be a disaster for their image. But as he turned to leave, his eye caught something glinting in the dirt, a small brass amulet half buried. He picked it up, turning it over in his palm. The engraving was faint, but unmistakable. A crescent moon bisected by a dagger. That night, Voss didn't sleep. He spread his notes across the desk of his cramped apartment, the amulet sitting like a silent accusation. The symbols on the body matched nothing in his files, but he had a contact, a scholar named Dr. Farrak, who knew the old texts better than anyone. The next morning, Voss found Farrak in the university library, poring over a leather-bound tome. The man's fingers trembled as he traced the symbols. "This is older than Islam," Farrak murmured. "Older than Christianity. These are the marks of the Sons of the Moon, a sect that believed in blood rituals to summon power." Voss' stomach twisted. And the missing organs? Farrak's eyes darkened. Offerings to the gods of the underworld. By the time Voss left the library, the city felt different. The market stalls seemed to whisper. The children's laughter carried an edge of something unnatural. And then, just as he turned a corner, he saw a figure in a hooded cloak slipping into the shadows of the old city gates. Voss gave chase, but the streets twisted like a maze, and by the time he reached the gate, the figure was gone. Only a single drop of blood remained on the cobblestones, glistening like a ruby in the fading light. At night, another body was found, and this time the symbols were deeper, the cuts wider. The hunt had only just begun.